If you'd asked me a year ago how I felt about surprises, I would have told you I hated them. I'm not the spontaneous type, never was. I like my routines, my lists, my plans. But Rachel, my wife, she thrived on surprises. Loved to shake things up, add a little spark. Said life was too short to color inside the lines. And for a while, I believed that spark was what kept us alive. Kept us together. So when she came home one day, eyes lit up like she'd won the lottery, waving 2 plane tickets to Rome, I thought, maybe this is the reset button we need. Rome, Ben! Can you believe it? Just us. No emails, no meetings, just la dolce vita for 2 weeks. I'll admit it, the idea of getting away sounded good. Things had been rough between us, not the screaming fighting kind of rough, more like that quiet drifting where you start to feel like roommates who forgot why they moved in together. And maybe Italy, with its cobblestone streets and endless wine, could fix that. She planned it all. I just followed. I'm the kind of guy who lets her take the reins when it comes to vacations. She picked the hotel, some boutique place in Trastevere, all rustic charm and overpriced espressos. She booked the tours, the Colosseum, the Vatican, the whole works. She even learned a few phrases in Italian, just enough to flirt with waiters and correct my pronunciation. Classic Rachel. But there was something off from the start. Like the way she kept checking her phone, even when we were standing under the Sistine Chapel, staring at Michelangelo's ceiling. Or how she'd disappear for a quick walk, after dinner, leaving me sipping limoncello alone, trying to convince myself this was still what love looked like. The third night, we went to this rooftop restaurant overlooking the city. The kind of place you only see in movies, soft jazz, candlelight, and a view that could make you believe in magic again. I remember thinking, this is it. This is when we find our way back to each other. She looked stunning in that red dress she bought just for the trip. I raised my glass. To us, I said. She clinked hers gently, but her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. To Italy, she replied. That was the first crack. The next morning, I woke up alone in the hotel room. Now, Rachel's not exactly an early riser. She's the kind of person who hits snooze 3 times before even thinking about coffee. But that day, her side of the bed was cold, like she hadn't even been there. Her phone was gone too, along with her red scarf, the one she loved because it made her feel European. I sat there for a minute, just staring at the spot where she should have been. Then I checked my own phone. Nothing. No text. No missed calls. Just a bunch of notifications from the weather app telling me it was going to be another beautiful Roman day. So I waited. Figured maybe she just went out to grab breakfast or something. She'd always had this thing for croissants in foreign cities, said they tasted different when you didn't know the language on the menu. But by the time the clock hit 11, I was still alone. I finally texted her. Hey, where'd you go? Everything okay? No reply. I tried to shake it off. Took a shower, wandered downstairs, grabbed a bitter espresso from the lobby. I told myself not to jump to conclusions. I mean, she was probably just out exploring, right? She loved that kind of stuff. But here's the thing, I knew Rachel. I knew her patterns. And this wasn't one of them. At noon, she strolled in, sunglasses on, smiled just a bit too wide. Ben! You're up, she said like she hadn't been gone for hours. Where have you been? I asked, trying to keep my voice level. Oh, just out walking. The city is so beautiful in the morning. I thought I'd let you sleep. Something about the way she said it felt rehearsed. Like she'd practiced it in front of a mirror. I wanted to believe her, I really did. But that little voice in the back of my head, the one that usually whispered things I didn't want to hear, it was starting to get louder. We spent the rest of the day doing touristy stuff. Tossed coins in the Trevi fountain, posed for selfies on the Spanish Steps, ate gelato near the Pantheon. To anyone watching, we probably looked like the perfect couple. But inside, I felt like I was on a date with a stranger. And she was too perfect. Laughing just a little too loud. Touching my arm just a little too often. Like she was covering something up, trying to distract me from noticing. That night, as we sat in a little trattoria tucked into an alley, she excused herself to use the restroom. Her phone buzzed on the table. I shouldn't have looked. I know that. But if you've ever been in that place, that gut-twisting place where doubt turns into something real, you'll understand why I picked it up. It was a message from someone named Luca. Tomorrow. Same place. Can't wait to see you again. And just like that, Rome stopped being romantic. I sat there, staring at her phone like it was a live grenade. Luca? Who the hell was Luca? A tour guide? An old friend? I could have spun it 1,000 ways, tried to calm myself down, but you know how it is. Once the seed is planted, your mind waters it with every worst-case scenario you can imagine. She came back, smiling, glowing even. What did I miss? She asked, slipping into her seat like nothing had happened. I forced a smile. Nothing. Just wondering what we're doing tomorrow. She paused. Oh. I thought maybe we could do separate things for the day. Give each other a little space. You could take that food tour you mentioned, and I'll just explore a bit. Now, Rachel had never in her life suggested we do separate things on vacation. She was all about shared experiences, photos for Instagram, us time. And now she wanted space? In Rome? I nodded, pretending not to notice the shift. Yeah, sure. Space sounds good. Underscore 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 underscore. The next morning, I played along. She left around 9, all dressed up like she was heading to a photo shoot instead of sightseeing. Said she was meeting some locals she'd met at a cafe. Yeah, okay. I waited exactly 10 minutes before grabbing my jacket and heading out. I didn't have a plan, just a burning need to know. I didn't have to look far. 2 blocks from the hotel I saw her. Rachel. My wife. Sitting at an outdoor cafe, laughing over cappuccinos with a man who looked like he'd walked off the cover of GQ Italia. Tall, tan, perfect stubble, perfect teeth. And that scarf? It was mine. She'd given it to him, the one I'd bought her last Christmas because it matched her eyes. And then he kissed her. Right there, in public, like it was the most natural thing in the world. I didn't know what to do. Walk up and make a scene? Shout something clever in Italian? Punch him in the face and hope the local cops were slow? Instead, I just stood there, invisible, watching my marriage fold itself into a neat little lie, tied with a bow of betrayal. Underscore 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 underscore. That afternoon, she came back to the hotel humming. How was your day? She asked, dropping her bag by the door. Oh, you know, I said. Learned a lot about olive oil and cheese. You. Lovely. Just wandered, got a bit lost, but that's the best part, right? I nodded, studying her face, trying to find any trace of guilt. But she was smooth. I had to give her that. You wouldn't think she just spent half the day wrapped up in someone else's arms. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there next to her, staring at the ceiling fan, wondering how long it had been going on. If it was just Rome. Or if Luca was just the Italian branch of a bigger problem. And that's when I decided I wasn't going to explode. I wasn't going to throw things or cry or beg. No, I was going to get smart. If Rachel wanted to play games, I was finally ready to play back. The next morning, I played it cool. If she noticed the dark circles under my eyes or the way I clenched my jaw over breakfast, she didn't say anything. Rachel was good at pretending. Hell, she'd been doing it for months, maybe longer. But now it was my turn. She told me she had another solo day planned. Might take the train out to Florence, she said, brushing crumbs off her dress. You should definitely do that walking tour of Trastevere. Sure, I said, kissing her forehead. Have fun. She left, smiling, phone in hand. And I got to work. First stop? The hotel front desk. See, what Rachel didn't know was that I'd made friends with the night concierge, Marco. The guy had a thing for American whiskey, and after I shared a bottle with him the second night, he was all too happy to help me out. You need something, Signore Ben? He asked, raising an eyebrow. Yeah, I said, sliding my wedding ring into my pocket. Can you tell me what room Luca is staying in? Marco hesitated. We have many guests, sir. I leaned in, lowering my voice. Tall guy, dark hair, been meeting up with my wife while I'm out buying souvenirs. Marco's eyes widened a little, then he nodded slowly. Room 307. He checked in 3 nights ago. Grazie, Marco. I slipped him another small bottle for his trouble and headed upstairs. Underscore 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 underscore. Now, I wasn't about to start knocking on doors or throwing punches. That's not me. No, I had something else in mind. I'd seen Luca with my own eyes, watched him with Rachel, and now I needed leverage. I waited by the elevators, out of sight, until I saw him. Luca, the walking cliché, stepped out of 307, whistling, scrolling through his phone. He didn't even notice me. Why would he? I was just some guy, some tourist. But I followed him. Down the street, through a side alley, straight into a little cafe where he seemed to be a regular. He sat at a corner table, ordered an espresso, and started texting. Probably Rachel. Probably arranging their next little adventure. I didn't approach him. Not yet. Instead, I snapped a few photos from across the room. Luca at the table, Luca sipping his coffee, Luca with a smug look that made my fists itch. Then I left. Back at the hotel, I did something I never thought I'd do. I went through Rachel's suitcase. And there it was, tucked between her makeup bag and her hair straightener, a second phone. Burner. Classic. It didn't have a lock screen. Amateur move. The messages were all there, like breadcrumbs leading straight to betrayal. Luca. Can't wait to taste you again. Rachel. Last night was perfect. Same time tomorrow? I took photos of everything. Every text, every little heart emoji, every plan they'd made behind my back. My hands were steady, surprisingly. No shaking, no second thoughts. I was collecting evidence, not memories. Underscore 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 underscore. Underscore 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 underscore. That night I acted normal. Too normal, probably. She came back late, smelling like a different cologne, humming some Italian tune. I didn't ask where she'd been. Didn't need to. Instead, I smiled, handed her a glass of wine, and asked if she wanted to visit the Vatican the next day. Her eyes lit up. Sure, I'd love that. And in that moment, I realized something. She still thought she was in control. Still thought she had me wrapped around her finger, blind and blissful. But I wasn't that guy anymore. I was done being the fool. The next morning, I woke up early. Real early. Rachel was still out cold, tangled in the sheets like she didn't have a care in the world. I watched her for a minute, wondering how long she could lie to my face without flinching. Then I got dressed, grabbed the burner phone, and headed out. I had a plan now. First stop, a print shop. One of those hole-in-the-wall places with old machines and a guy who didn't ask questions. I handed him a USB stick, filled with the screenshots, the messages, the photos of Luca, and told him I needed 10 copies. Discreetly. He just nodded and went to work. By noon, I had everything I needed. Evidence, printed and neat, sealed in envelopes. One for Rachel. One for Luca. And a few extras, just in case. Underscore 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 underscore. I arranged to meet her at a cafe near the Tiber River. Something scenic. Picturesque. The kind of place she'd want to remember. She arrived a little late, sunglasses on, smile lazy. Hey babe, she said, leaning in for a kiss. I gave her my cheek. Thought we'd sit outside, I said, leading her to a table in the sun. We ordered drinks. She chatted about nothing. How she loved the street markets, how we should visit Tuscany next time, how maybe we could even come back for our anniversary. Our anniversary. I let her talk, sipping my espresso, nodding occasionally, waiting for the right moment. Then I slid the envelope across the table. What's this? She asked, frowning. Open it. She hesitated. Then, slowly, she pulled out the papers. Her eyes scanned the first page, then the second. Her hands started to shake. Ben! Don't, I said, voice calm. Don't insult me with excuses. She looked up, eyes wide. What did you? Does it matter? Silence stretched between us, thick and heavy. The sounds of the city buzzed around us, but all I heard was the pounding of my own heart. I didn't mean for this to happen, she whispered. I laughed. Actually laughed. You didn't mean to? What, you tripped and fell into Luca's bed? Her face flushed. It wasn't like that. It's exactly like that. I leaned back, studying her like I didn't even know her, and maybe I didn't, not really. You planned this whole trip. You picked the hotel, the restaurants, the tours. All of it. You knew exactly what you were doing. Her voice dropped, defensive. You weren't present. 4 months. You were distant. I felt alone. And that's your excuse? So you found company in some Italian cliché? Tears welled up, but I wasn't biting. Not this time. I stood up, tossing some euros on the table. Here's the thing, Rachel. You wanted space? You got it. Enjoy the rest of your Roman holiday. underscore 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 underscore. I didn't go back to the hotel. I grabbed my stuff that morning, checked out quietly, and booked into a small place across town. I wasn't leaving just yet. Not until I paid Luca a little visit. I waited until evening. By then, the Roman air had that golden glow, the kind that makes everything look softer, more beautiful than it really is. But I wasn't in the mood for beauty. I was in the mood for clarity. Room 307. I stood outside his door for a moment, envelope in hand, heart steady. No anger. No drama. Just business. A knock. Calm, measured. Footsteps. The door opened. Luca. He looked at me like he couldn't quite place me. Like maybe I was hotel staff or some tourist asking for directions. "Can I help you?" he asked. Perfect English with that smooth Italian edge. "Yeah," I said, holding up the envelope. "This is for you." He took it, brows furrowed, flipping it open. First, the messages. Then the photos. And finally, a little note I added at the bottom. "I know. Stay away." His face changed. A flicker of recognition. Then something else. Fear? Maybe not quite. But close enough. "She didn't tell me," he said, shaking his head. "Didn't tell you what?" I asked, folding my arms. "That she was married." I raised an eyebrow. "You expect me to believe that?" He held up his hands like he was some innocent bystander. "Look, man, I'm not looking for trouble." "Good," I said, stepping closer. "Because you've already found it." He opened his mouth like he wanted to argue, to explain, to charm his way out, but I wasn't giving him the chance. "Let me make this simple, Luca," I said, voice low. "I'm not here to fight you. I'm not here to play the jealous husband. I'm here to end this. You walk away, today, now, and you don't contact her again." He swallowed hard. "She said she was leaving you." I almost laughed. "Yeah? Funny how she forgot to mention that to me." Silence again. The kind that says everything. "You've had your fun," I said. "Go back to whatever life you had before you met her." He didn't respond. Just nodded slowly, realizing the game was over. I walked away, not looking back. Didn't need to. Back at my new hotel, I sat on the balcony, watching the city lights flicker on one by one. Rome didn't care about my problems. It had seen worse, bigger betrayals, deeper wounds. Rachel texted once. "Can we talk?" I turned off my phone. There was nothing left to say. I stayed in Rome for 2 more days. Not because I wanted to, but because I needed to. Needed time to breathe, to think, to remember who I was before I got wrapped up in someone else's lies. Rachel didn't know where I was. She called, she texted, but I ignored it all. I imagined her sitting alone in that hotel room, wondering how she lost control, how the script flipped. And for once, I didn't care. Not in the bitter, spiteful way, just done. By the 3rd day, I booked my flight home. The cab ride to the airport felt lighter, like I'd left something behind on those cobblestone streets. Maybe it was the weight of trying to save something that wasn't worth saving. On the plane, I pulled out my notebook, the one I used to sketch business ideas before life got complicated. I made a list. Not of goals, not of what I lost, but of what I'd learned. 1. Trust your gut. It's not paranoia if it's right. 2. Love isn't about fixing someone who doesn't want to be fixed. 3. Some endings are actually beginnings. underscore 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 underscore. When I landed, Rachel was waiting at the gate. I didn't ask how she knew my flight details. She always had a way of finding things out. She looked tired, like someone who hadn't slept in days. I stood there for a second, just watching her. There was a time I would have run to her, would have believed every word she was about to say. Not anymore. Ben, she started, stepping closer. Please, just let me explain. You don't need to, I said. I saw enough. Her eyes filled with tears, and for once, they didn't move me. They weren't mine to carry anymore. I made a mistake, she said, voice cracking. No, I replied. You made choices. Over and over. She reached for my hand. I stepped back. It's done, Rachel. I'm done. Underscore 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 underscore. The next few weeks were quiet. I moved back into my old apartment, the one I kept. Just in case. Funny how some part of me always knew. I went back to work, threw myself into projects, into life. The divorce was quick. No fights, no drama. She didn't contest it. Maybe she knew there wasn't anything left to fight for. Sometimes I wondered if she missed me. If she ever sat in that fancy hotel room in Rome and realized the price of what she'd lost. But wondering doesn't change anything, does it? Underscore 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 underscore. One evening, a few months later, I ran into someone at a coffee shop. Tara, an old friend from college. We laughed about how life never goes the way you plan, about how sometimes losing something makes space for something better. She didn't ask for the details, and I didn't offer them. She just got it. And maybe that's the point. Some people are in your life to teach you lessons. Others remind you who you are. Rachel? She was the former. Me? I'm still figuring out the rest, but this time, I'm doing it on my own terms. Underscore 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 underscore. The end. Or maybe just the beginning.